Hi, I'm Michael Sazin, the Parrot Wizard, and this is Keely, my Senegal parrot, and today I'd like to share with you the 3 most overrated parrot products and the 3 most underrated parrot supplies that I've been thinking about recently. Of course, there's lots and lots of parrot supplies out there, and parrots require quite a good deal of them to be able to provide them good quality care at home. And none of them are too unnecessary. I think all of them are important to a degree, and none of them are absolutely critical. But what I think is that some are a little bit more overrated, and that means that people pay too much attention to them, talk about them too much, and put too much importance and emphasis on them. Whereas some other things that are just super useful, I've been using in my life that have enhanced my parrot experience so much, and I'm kind of surprised and disappointed that more people don't take advantage of them. So let's go ahead and get right to it. Hi, Keely. Hello. Hello. So we're ready to go, and let's start with the 3 most overrated parrot supplies out there. The first one, in my opinion, is those UV light bulbs. The full spectrum lights for the cage, in theory, sounds like a good idea, and don't have anything against them necessarily, but in practice, I think that they're overrated. A lot of parrot owners end up getting them. I see a lot of people who get a bird, have one in their home. It seems that they're being pushed by stores a lot, kind of like those reptile bulbs, which are actually, much more essential. But for parrots, I don't think the UV bulbs really do that much. First of all, I'm personally a bit skeptical if the bulbs even do what they say they will. Even if they do, let's take that for granted, they do burn out much quicker, so they might still work, but they would even then not provide the UV light that they promised that they would. Furthermore, it's very easy to misuse them. If you don't use them sufficiently, they're not going to do the job they're meant to do. Use them too much, it might give the bird a sunburn. That they need to be placed a certain distance from the cage. They're pretty difficult to use. They're expensive. But here's the thing. There's an incredibly effective replacement for them that's much more the real deal. And that's natural sunlight. Just being outside with the bird. So if you're able to get your bird into a travel carrier, travel cage, better yet on an aviator harness, don't take birds outside unrestrained under any circumstance, but get that bird outside in the direct natural sunlight, a few minutes a day or 15, 30 minutes a week, a couple of days a week. Get that bird out in the natural sun and you will have genuine, guaranteed, visible results. You'll be able to smell the freshness on your bird, you'll be able to see the plumage improve and the colors change, and you'll know that it really works, unlike those overrated UV lights, the full spectrum lights sold for birds. So the second parrot supply that I think is quite overrated is Acrylic Toys for parrots. Not to say that you shouldn't ever give them, not to say that they're harmful, but I definitely think that they're overrated. I think people get too much of them, there's too many of them available. Ultimately, parrots really much more enjoy things that they can break and destroy and get their beak on, shred, chew apart, and take apart. There's nothing like acrylic in the wild in nature. Everything is more like wood and plants and rocks. And that acrylic stuff, it's just hard on the beak, they can't break it, and frankly, they get bored of it quite quickly. Those acrylic toys tend to be quite expensive. They look good to us humans, but the appeal factor to birds just isn't that much. So I think you can do much better with your toy budget and look for more natural toys and toys that your parrots can destroy. Now, some acrylic toys are for playing. They might be like an abacus where they move some beads around. Some of them have different shapes or colors, and others of them are foraging toys. Now, I have nothing against those acrylic foraging toys, but frankly, in the beginning, they're just too hard for the bird and they don't know what to do. You gotta spin the wheel, open the box, whatever that is. In the beginning, bird has no idea what to do and they get kind of bored with it. Then one day they figure out, pull, turn, push, spin, whatever that action is, and then it's super easy and they know how to get the food right out and there's no challenge to it anymore. Better yet, focus on natural foraging toys, things that the bird has to chip and break away to be able to get to their favorite treats, because no matter how much they figure out how it's done, they're still gonna have to engage in their natural behavior, keep that beak busy. That busy beak is not busy biting, not busy screaming. That busy beak is busy being a parrot and doing what parrots do best. That's chewing and destroying things that luckily are not your furniture. Now, the third thing for parrots that I think is very overrated is manufactured treats. They've got all kinds of treat sticks and balls and different things. Oftentimes they're stuck together with honey or sugar, and they've got just a lot of junk food in them that isn't very good for parrots. Worse yet, they're very big, they're very large. If a parrot is given a whole stick or a whole ball or a whole unit of those, the parrot is going to out-eat its normal diet of healthy food with just unhealthy treat foods. Maybe if those treat snacks were made in very teeny tiny little portions, they wouldn't be quite so bad as an occasional treat. But realistically, the way they're made, it's like giving the parrot not a donut, not a munchkin, but like a whole Krispy Kreme 12-pack. So giving that bird a dozen donuts, not going to be the best behavior, giving them way too much energy and not going to be good for their health. It's going to displace healthy food. So instead, there's lots and lots of things you can use as much more natural, safer, and more healthy treats. At worst, you can use peanuts and nuts and sunflower seeds. That's still better than manufactured treats. A little bit more natural, but better still, you can find healthy nuts, healthier seeds, and even better still, fruits and some human foods off the table. That's a chance to give the parrot variety, something enjoyable, a grape, a piece of apple. These are going to be healthy treats, and they're still going to be fun and encourage the parrot to engage in good behavior and training. Now, when it comes to the three most underrated parrot supplies, these are things that you should have more of, and for one reason or another, they're not as common in stores or people aren't aware of them, but yet they enhance the parrot's life so much, or your life, and I really, really recommend that you get a hold of this. Now, the number one most underrated supply for parrots, in my opinion, is perches. I don't know why, but just so many parrots are in a cage just with the perch or dowel that came with the cage, maybe 2 or 3. Realistically, you want to have 5 to 8 perches in the parrot's cage at any given time, maybe even more. You really want to fill the parrot's cage with perches. Lots of parrot owners get hung up on getting the biggest cage they possibly can, something roomy. They want to make sure they're doing a good job providing a big, comfortable environment for the parrot, and that's fantastic. Nothing against that. But that big cage is hardly worth it, hardly useful space, if there aren't perches to fill it. Now, you got to fill that cage with lots of toys and perches to give the parrot access to those toys, as well as a variety of different surfaces to move around on, exercise the feet, and places to go. It's just like your house. You don't have a 3-floor house with no floors in it. If you have a big house with 3 floors, but no floor, you have all this space, but you can't use it. So just like that house, if you put in multiple perches in that cage, you're giving different floors, different levels, different rooms to the parrot to be able to enjoy that cage, move around, have different surfaces to stand on, different purposes for each, and access to the toys. Use a different perch for every different station in your parrot's cage. Where the water is can be one perch, the food can be another perch, a perch for playing with toys, a perch for sleeping, a perch for grooming the nails. But before you know, you've got 5 to 8 perches. Make sure to provide lots of variety. Dowel perches, forget them. Throw them out. They're not good for your parrot's feet. You're going to want to have a good variety of perches. First of all, you can check out the Parrot Wizard line of patented new perches. They're natural wood. They're very comfortable for the parrot's feet. They really enjoy them. They provide a good, solid basis for your parrot's perching. But in addition to that, you're going to want some other varieties, some alternatives. You're going to want a soft, ropey perch so that the parrot can have something soft if their feet get tired. Make sure that those strings aren't getting pulled or chewed on, but as long as those ropes are in clean, new condition, those are a great alternative and for variety for those parrots. Natural perches. There can be issues with natural perches. Sometimes they can harbor bacteria, mold, fungus, even bugs. Very important to get them from a reliable source so that they're cleaned properly. But natural perches are great. That's what parrots have in the wild. So of course, diversifying your parrot's cage with something natural is fantastic. In addition to that, you'll want to have some kind of hard or grooming perch to help keep those nails trim. Parrots, after they eat or drink, like to scratch their beak on it. It provides an alternative surface for the parrots as well. The second most underrated supply for parrots that I'm actually personally quite shocked is not like the norm is water bottles. Providing clean water to parrots is way harder than it looks. They make such a mess of their water and it takes them no time at all. They like to dunk everything in their water, not just limited to their food, their toys, their feed, their poop. Everything seems to end up in that water and make a soupy mess in no time. And you can be changing water twice a day, but your parrot will find a way to make a mess out of that water a few minutes after you put it in. And quite frankly, that's brewing bacteria. That water is gross, and we could do better than that. Water bottles are a great way to provide clean, fresh water to the parrot all throughout the day. And it's a way to ensure that they always have clean, fresh water to drink and even bathe in. My parrots learn to take a shower out of their water bottles. They know how to push the bowl, and they get themselves fully wet, and they use it as a shower even. Very important. The one downside to water bottles is that you've got to change the water regularly. Don't assume that just because the water looks clear that it is clean. 4-day-old water, as clear as it might be, still might be brewing bacteria, still might be kind of gross. That water should still be changed every day, just like out of a water dish. But unlike the water in a water dish, the water in the bottle will stay clear and clean all day long. If you want to provide your parrot opportunities to play around in the water and have some fun, sure, go right ahead and let your parrot splurge. Provide a water dish for a few minutes, for an hour for the parrot to bathe and play around in, but then take it away. Particularly when you're not home, it's much better that your parrot be drinking fresh, clean water out of the bottle instead of making a mess that you're not even there to monitor or replace. You can check out the Parrot Wizard bird watering system at parrotwizard.com. It's not just the bottle, but it's an entire system to ensure that you're teaching your parrot to use the bottle correctly, keeping it clean, and providing fresh water to your parrot daily on a consistent basis. Now this brings me to my third point. The third most underrated parrot supply, in my opinion, is Parrot Information. Parrots, unlike cats and dogs and domesticated pets, they're not domesticated. They're wild animals. They're quite different. It takes a lot more knowledge and information to be able to befriend a parrot. This is a pretty unusual relationship. It's much closer, much more akin to being involved with a tiger or some wild animal out of the wild than a domesticated animal, right, Keely? You're so wild. You're so wild, aren't you? Oh, sweetie. But here's the thing, Keely might look domesticated and friendly, and she is, but that's because she's been trained. She's friendly because she was trained and because of the information that we used to make sure that we bond and develop a great relationship. Now, of course, you can check out my book, The Parrot Wizard's Guide to Well-Behaved Parrots, but even if you don't get my book, I really want to encourage you to find good, reliable, published sources of information. Books, DVDs, species-specific books. Learn about the species of parrot that you have. Learn about training, learn about behavior, learn everything you can. These are difficult, complicated animals, and keeping them as pets without greater in-depth knowledge and information can be a huge challenge, and you will really be shortchanging your parrot keeping experience without getting that more in-depth information. So Parrot Information, the third most underrated thing in the parrot community, in my opinion. So there you have it. The three most overrated parrot supplies, in my opinion, are UV bulbs, full spectrum bulbs. You could replace them with natural outdoor sunlight for free. The second one is Acrylic Toys. They look cute. They can be a good supplement, but primarily they're just not as great as they seem to be. Third one, the third most overrated thing are manufactured parrot treats. Replace them with healthier treats that are more natural for your bird. The three most underrated parrot supplies, in my opinion, are parrot perches. Parrots need as many perches as possible in their cage to get around. The second underrated parrot supply is water bottles. Such a great way to keep your parrot's water clean all throughout the day. It can be used in place of or in addition to water dishes, but always offering a clean supply of water. And parrot information in books, very underrated. Every parrot owner should be reading up on parrot behavior and the parrot species that they are getting involved with. You can purchase these underrated parrot supplies and lots of things that'll help enhance your relationship with your parrot. All of that's available at parrotwizard.com. Come here, Keely. Bang!